Hello, my name is Moyo Rhinos Mutamba. I am co-director at Bloom Consulting. I'm excited today to share about our transforming conflict service. And here with me is Nati, Jeff, and Laura, the team that is leading this work at Bloom. And they're here to share more about transforming conflict. Yes, I'm going to start with you, Nati. What is it? What is this transforming conflict?
Yeah, thank you so much, Moyo. At Bloom Consulting and working with groups and teams over the years, we know that conflict is inevitable. It's such a natural part of group dynamics and of difference. And so often in normative culture, we have a fear of conflict. We avoid it until it erupts, and then we often label things as right and wrong, good and bad. And it can often lead to more fracture and mistrust. So at Bloom, we actually know, we come from an appreciative lens and know that conflict is actually a very rich opportunity and that it's very natural and normal. And in the words of Sobonfu Somé, it's an invitation for the relationship to deepen. And so we support groups and processes that really get to the roots of the dynamic. And we do that by slowing down, creating space for deep dialogue, really leaning into effective communication strategies, a way to be able to hold the multiple truths that are happening in the room, and then to really draw on the lived experience and wisdom of those who are in the room to be able to find solutions and a way to move forward together that feels authentic for everybody. And so this is that transformative element within conflict, is how can you go from a place of being gridlock and oppositional to seeing where there's a chance to actually deepen collective understanding and capacities and gifts through moving through in authentic ways. And so it's a real privilege for us as facilitators to be able to journey alongside groups, not only in transforming conflicts, but in supporting cultures that are ripe and ready to be able to address conflict.
And why do we approach conflict in this way? Jeff, what do groups gain from this approach?
I really see in this approach a significant shift than what, in my experience, is the dominant model of how to approach conflict. I actually have worked as a criminal defense lawyer for a number of years, and when I started doing more work with Bloom in workplaces, I saw that the same kind of approach to conflict harm that's out there in the sort of criminal justice system is showing up in workplaces. Instead of a criminal code, it's looking at the employee code of conduct and determining, has someone followed the rules, and if not, if they've breached the rules, what should the punishment be? This approach, the transforming conflict approach, focuses on the person who's been harmed, who says, this is hurting, this dynamic is not working for me. Some real serious suffering can happen in workplaces sometimes. And starting from there, then we look outwards, and yes, the person who may have said the particular word or engaged in the particular behavior that's directly causing those feelings certainly would have to be involved. But we also like to look broader. What's the culture in the workplace? What institutional dynamics may be present? What broader systemic dynamics, such along the lines of race, difference, class, gender, sexual orientation, ability, all these different pieces that are in the wider system that are going to be informing workplaces? How can we look at all the underlying root causes that have led to these dynamics, that have led to this harm, and really then seizing on what is a moment of hurt and harm for a generative opportunity for healing? And not just healing for the individuals involved, but for the wider workplace, and in a way, the wider systems in which we're all kind of embedded.
Mm-hmm. And how does Bloom work with clients who might be interested in transforming conflict?
So if you want to work with Bloom, it's easy to simply reach out to the team and connect with one of us and enter into a consultation phase where it's really about listening to what's arising. And there's 3 different areas that we work in: mitigation, intervention, and reconciliation. And the mitigation is really about capacity building and working with a team before there's conflict to create spaces where their healthy conflict can exist. And then intervention is about conflict transformation and mediation. Where there's an active conflict, then we host a dialogue and move through it together. And then there's reconciliation, where if there was a conflict in the past and there's fractures within the team or organization, then we come in and do that restorative process to bring those energies back together. And so there's no cookie cutter approach. It's about working in partnership and finding the way forward together.
Thank you. Are you curious about transforming conflict? Get in touch with us. Our email is info@bloomworld.org.